After the failed attempt at the live stream on Friday, February 28th, the Sims team tried again on Monday, March 3rd, with Mirsa and the Sim Guru at the wheel of a pre-made household of 3 Sims running a tattoo parlor in Nordhaven. Despite the total live stream being almost 90 minutes long, where they showed off build buy, create a sim, and gameplay options, the game was actually surprisingly light in gameplay. I'm implying one of two things, but I'll get into that later. Starting off with build and buy mode, the game looks pretty industrial, but also a bit of color. There was a lot of new windows and wallpapers, shelving, displays, nooks and crannies to sell your different wares, tons of new furniture like beds, couches, room dividers, the tattoo table, coffee bars, and ticket kiosks of different colors, shapes, and sizes, so you can decorate your small business and or home lot. Nothing really stood out to me, but there are quite a few items. It kind of gave me the IKEA vibes, which makes sense because this world is supposed to be loosely based off of like Copenhagen, Stockholm, like those kind of countries, which is where IKEA is from. So it kind of made sense to me. Moving on to Create a Sim. Likewise, it was also pretty uneventful. We got a variety of jumpsuits, overalls, and artsy looking tops and bottoms with funky shapes, cuts, and styles. Trying to make it great for either pottery or tattoo shop owners. A lot of pieces could be dressy or dressed up with the right accessories, hats, and garments to make it more businessy, or dressed down to make it more casual. I will say, though, as a nod to the Sims team, because I know I pick on this often, the male creative sim is the best that's ever been in an expansion pack, in my opinion, especially coming from the last expansion pack, which is The Sims 4 Life and Death, where the male creative sim was like retro or antique and outdated. These sweaters, button-down tops, glasses, t-shirts, they're like the basic everyday wear we've been asking for male Sims in The Sims 4. And so, if nothing else, I am impressed with male creative sim for adult Sims because it finally has given me the color swatches, basic patterns, basic cuts for a masculine framed sim. This is what we've been asking for. Whoever was in charge of male creative sim for this expansion pack, give them a raise because they have finally accomplished something that no one else has accomplished in like 15 other expansion packs. Other than that, I would say it was interesting too. The kids got a few hairs, they got a few tops and a couple of bottoms, which I wasn't expecting since this pack is not really geared towards children age Sims, but it still fits into the same overall theme. Create a Sim is never a category that The Sims 4 is lacking in, and now that they finally have figured out what to do with masculine Sims, they're doing even better. They also went over in detail the tattoo system, which was added to Create a Sim, where you can customize tattoos, free drawing, or layering different tattoos, both from base game and tattoos that came specifically with this pack. They did go into later in the gameplay section the fact that you can unlock tattoos as you continue to practice and hone your skill, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. Now, what was lacking is gameplay. They did show off that tattoo artists have a variety of options from the tattoo tailor table, including offering tattoos to a sim, offering tattoo touch-ups or removals, offering custom tattoo or dedication tattoos if your sim is a certain tattooing level. So there are 3 new skills coming with this expansion pack, one being the tattoo skill, the pottery skill, and the candy making skill, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. Tattoo designs can be unlocked by practice tattooing on the digital sketch pad, so you don't have to practice on a sim, because of course Sims will be unhappy if they get a low quality tattoo. It seems like your sim needs to at least be level 8 to have all of these options, because the sim that they used in the live stream was level 8 and he was able to do all these different type of tattoo options. So that was interesting. I mean, I understand the tattooing is the big part of this pack. They've touched on this a lot, both in the trailers and the gameplay trailer and now the live stream. So I expect the tattooing to be very well rounded, and it looks like they did a great job. Moving on to other aspects of gameplay, they didn't really touch too much into pottery, a little bit, but they showed it off in the sense of being able to go to a pottery class. So in the live stream, they sent 3 Sims to Terracotta, which is a pre-made small business that's in Nordhaven. and you're able to actually attend a class as a sim if that's not the business that you own. So that was really cool. So it's actually a timed gold event. So the overall event goal is to listen to the lecture, but you have smaller tasks like crafting an object, receiving mentorship, and discussing pottery techniques with another sim. So that's actually really cool. And the better you do at the gold event, obviously, the more pottery skills you're going to have, which is cool. And they said that this works the same way with lectures. If sims are randomly giving lectures at whiteboards around town, your sim can choose to listen in for free. So it's nice that my sim can both teach or listen to classes and lectures, giving me a little bit more gameplay if my sim doesn't want to own a small business. In that pottery class that the sim attended, we actually were able to see the full list of everything your sims can make. So through the pottery system, your sim can now create a round vase, a planter pot, a candle lantern, a cake stand, a candle holder, an oil burner, an incense burner, a gnome statue, a tea set, raccoon vase, abstract sculpture, intricate vase, romantic sculpture, and abstract wall sculpture. Some of these pieces are purely decorative, like the raccoon vase, and some of these pieces are actually functional, like the tea set. So it really depends on what your sim's pottery skill level is, and obviously how much space they have to either display this for sale or put this in their home. But it was nice to see that they put some thoughtfulness into the pottery skill, and it can actually be really useful. Thinking about it alongside like the wood making skill, you could almost furnish your house with a lot of these different pottery items, both the functional ones and the decor, which is nice. So then they kind of skipped around. It wasn't super structured in the live stream, but they briefly touched on the new functional cookbooks. So your sim can now create family recipes. So you pick a main recipe from, the cooking menu, and that depends on your sim's cooking skill and what recipes they know. Then you can choose a special ingredient, which is usually a raw ingredient like a fruit or a vegetable or a flour, and then you can add special touches. Now, the special touches is what makes the family recipe helpful. So some of the special touches include moodlet booster, comfort food, dream chaser, mystery fuel, heartbreak healer, home remedy, academic ace, low maintenance, spontaneous rage, fertility unleashed, or motive eating. But they didn't really go deep into what each special touch does, and it looks like you have to unlock these by doing things in game. So, for example, your sim has to be a parent to unlock the fertility unleashed special touch to make that in a special family recipe. So you're not going to have all these options right off the bat. Your sim needs to have life experiences first. So that would obviously be something where maybe an elder sim would make the family recipe, and then you can teach the family recipe to other sims. So that was really cool. And the sim guru gave an example about his own life, about his grandmother making these dumplings that were supposed to give fertility boost. So it's like it kind of plays to real life family gameplay. And we have some options in The Sims 4 now about like cooking as a family, canning goods. I mean, there's cooking skill has been enhanced many times through many packs. It's just weird to be in this pack because cooking can be considered a hobby. So I guess they're kind of playing on making a family recipe as a hobby, but that wasn't 100% clear. They really skipped over this fact, but they talked about the meetups. So there's various meetups for different hobbies, and there's a bulletin board out in like the main town square, like center of the town. And you can actually turn on and off notifications for the different hobbies, but they didn't actually play through any of the meetups on the live stream. So there's 7 different ones, including like Writers Unite. But it didn't say what you would do at the different meetups. Do you just stand around talking to other Sims? Are random townies just going to show up? It wasn't 100% clear, so that's something we'll probably have to dive into once we get the game. They also touched on their new NPC character, Trashly, which we originally thought was the burglar, but it turns out burglar was separate in the base game update. Trashly is specifically locked behind this expansion pack. It's an NPC character that can be found in a very specific alleyway in Nordhaven, and they sell random certified paintings. It'll kind of remind you of Crazy Red if you've ever played Animal Crossing over the years. You want to collect these fake paintings, and it's a new collectible set for this new expansion pack. So there's like 20-something paintings altogether. Unfortunately, Mercea wasn't able to do this in-game because Trashly ran off. So it only works if you're able to talk to him to ask him if you want to buy his wares. And I guess it changes every day or every couple of days. It would have been nice to see more about that with Trashly. Is Trashly someone that we can romance? Is that just... I wasn't really sure what the purpose of Trashly was. It sounds like they don't break into your business. They don't mess with any of your stuff. He just lives in an alleyway and sells random items. So I'm not 100% sure what the point of that was. And then finally, they showed off this candy machine, which was also in the original reveal trailer, but they didn't really cover it in the gameplay trailer. So the candy machine is for any sim, child age or up. Sims with the mischief skill can make shocked candy, which is a different category. So there's regular candy and a shocked candy. The shocked candy can give sims some different effects. So they can give your sim a sugar rush. It can also cause your sim to temporarily glow and get electricity powers. While your sim is on a sugar rush, they can accidentally die of laughter if they get too giggly and too happy and playful. Some of the candy options they showed off, and it looks like it depends on your sim's skill level, but there's different kinds of jelly beans, lollipops, and cotton candy. So you can sell both the regular and the shocked candies. So if you want to have a shady business where you sell people shocked candy that could possibly kill them, sounds like an option. But they didn't really go into that. They made a set of shocked candies and showed off a sim with electricity powers. But again, I wasn't quite sure what was going on there. And it didn't really go into too much detail other than that. So basically, that's all that they showed that was gameplay related. So I'm not sure. Most of the gameplay is, of course, tied to pottery and tattooing, which we already knew from the reveal trailer and the gameplay trailer. A lot of the EA Game Changers have already posted early access content. Right now, they only have footage of base game and the new expansion pack. They don't have all packs integrated yet. So we don't know much more than what the gameplay actually showed us in the live stream. But it seems like this pack is going to rely heavily on cross-pack compatibility. You're going to need other packs like Nifty Knitting, Get to Work, Cottage Living, Cats and Dogs, Get Together, etc. to have more variety in your small businesses. So, for example, if you have Nifty Knitting, you would be able to sell knitted items. You would be able to host knitting classes. Like, you would have more options. Or like if you had Cottage Living, you could sell the cross-stitch items. You could sell canned items, like if you canned fruits, vegetables. Like, you would need other packs, I guess, to make this pack more fulfilling. Which is both a good and a bad thing. I mean, at this point, the Sims franchise is 10 years old. It's reasonable to assume if somebody's playing The Sims in 2025, they probably own more than just the base game, which is now free to play. So if you're playing in 2025... you probably own a couple of packs. And so depending on what packs you own, you'll have more options. But it's a little disappointing if you only own this expansion pack, you only have 3 options. You're either doing the tattooing, the pottery, or the candy making. And it looks like candy making is not really that fleshed out. It's really going to be the tattooing or the pottery if you want to have the most gameplay and customization options. The candy just kind of works like the ice cream machine from the Cool Kitchen Stuff pack, and it's very light in gameplay animation itself. So I'm a little concerned. I hope to see more. I understand that the Sims, expansion packs are supposed to expand Sims' everyday lives, and there's always going to be a level of imagination and creativity required to play The Sims 4 and really get the most enjoyment out of it. I'm sure a lot of people are going to find enjoyment out of making small businesses like daycares and hotels and seeing what the game will allow them to do. But I was just a little concerned. I just was looking for maybe more hobbies. I'm also still confused on that aspect of it. Other than the family cooking book, what were the hobbies? I mean, pottery is a hobby, and you could just do it as a hobby. You don't have to sell what you create. But tattooing is not really a hobby. So it's like, besides pottery, what was the hobbies? What was the point? And then what are these meetups? These meetups seem to be tied to hobbies, but what hobbies? It again requires you to have other packs. Like, even if you had Get Famous, where you have the mixed media creation where your sim can make music, like DJing and make custom tracks, it requires you to still have another pack for that to work. It's not there's not hobby that comes in this pack. Even with the family shared recipes, if you only had base game, you're going to have a very limited amount of choices to make. And it looks like the cooking, they didn't make it clear. Can your family recipe include baking recipes, or is it only for cooking recipes? So hopefully we get clarification as people continue to play the game, as early access videos continue to come out, and as the people actually buy the pack and start playing. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the live stream, and has the live stream changed how you felt about this pack overall?